Hello, welcome to this severe weather update for the U.S. and some stuff for Canada. So this will be a relatively quick update. Let's just see some important stuff for tomorrow instead of just showing it tomorrow. So let's see. First, for the severe weather, we just have a general storm or two today there, some parts of Texas, even Colorado, New Mexico, and the Northwest, but especially in Louisiana and Mississippi and those areas because we already have some storms there, especially southeastern Louisiana. So be aware of those areas. But tomorrow is the real day. We have that slight risk there, especially parts of southeastern Texas and most of East Texas, into Louisiana, and southern Arkansas there, even like southeastern most Oklahoma. So be careful. They say 15% wind, especially like in Arkansas and north, most of northern Louisiana and East Texas, and 5% wind around it. So be careful. Some damaging gusts. Hail is also 15% around like mostly East Texas, but into Louisiana too, and a 5% around it. So be careful with hail. And tornadoes are 5% around Texas, southern Arkansas, and Louisiana. So be careful that tornado threat is so like 2% from Texas to central Arkansas as well. So be careful. Severe thunderstorms are expected Thursday across central East Texas to western Louisiana and possibly southeast Oklahoma in the Arkansas region. So be careful those areas, especially the wind and tornado threat. So for day 3, still a marginal around like Louisiana, Mississippi, maybe Texas. So just a 5% probabilistic. A few strong thunderstorms could occur across the lower Mississippi Valley on Friday. So be aware Friday, and day 4 freight still nothing, and fire is no critical too. But now for rainfall, we still have the system, the northwest, more rain there, that heavier rain. So be careful. But tomorrow they got the slight risk now for flash flooding possible across Texas, mainly in Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and Oklahoma too. So be aware. And like Mississippi too. Shows still the marginal in California and Oregon and Washington tomorrow. And day 3 a smaller marginal for like Mississippi to Tennessee, northern Alabama, and in Oregon and California still. But day 4 have the other system to California, shows a slight array there, and a marginal too in Oregon and California. So be aware. And another marginal there. Parts of Alabama, Georgia, and especially like northeastern Mississippi and Tennessee and Kentucky, and some parts of eastern North Carolina and South Carolina. And day 5, the marginal goes further up into like New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and other areas, and still a marginal in California and Oregon, and southernmost Washington. So be aware. Precipitation. They have day 1 is Thursday. That's so weird because it's Wednesday. But let's see. So far for tomorrow, Thursday, shows the storms in Texas, especially in Oklahoma, shows close to 1 inch, 1.5 inches in southeastern Oklahoma, and has more like some in Mississippi, Louisiana, some spots there, and has a lot in Washington and Oregon, especially northwestern California. So be careful those areas, the heavier rain and the snow. And like now day 2 does show especially like between Mississippi and Arkansas during Friday until Saturday. Be careful there. And it shows more like from Texas to Illinois more. So be aware. And still in Oregon and Washington there, but especially in California for day 2. But this is day 2. And then day 3 from Saturday to Sunday shows more there, like 1.75 or close to 2 inches Mississippi and to Alabama and Tennessee, and still some rain the Midwest and some spots in the east, but still heavy in Oregon, in California there. And this will be the slight risk on day 4 in Northern California, but here they have a day 3, I don't know why. So day 4 now, still more in California, Washington, next Sunday to next Monday, close to like 4 inches or something, a spot or two in Northern California. So really be careful. And still on the southeast, especially between like North Carolina and Georgia, close to 2 inches. So be aware. Now day 5 shows more on the east, so the front there, in some parts of the northwest and the plains. Day 6 shows more across, generally across the east, some more rain. At Tuesday to Wednesday at the 1st, and day 7 some more in the northwest and the northeast. Now day 1 through 7 shows a lot from these storms there, the southeast, south, mid-south and northeast, and a little quieter in the southwest and some parts of the north, and shows a lot, like 10 to 15 inches, some spots of Oregon, California and Washington. So be careful. And some rain in Florida, nothing crazy, so be aware. Snow still shows more snow there across the northwest, so now still show like day 2 tomorrow. That's so weird, but shows more like the high probabilities in Washington and Oregon, and central Idaho too, be aware. Also northern Idaho, some spots on northern Utah show some southern Colorado into northern California, and northwest Montana there. Day 2 still shows there like across the Rockies, more like in central Idaho and Utah, and shows more central northern Colorado and those areas. So be aware. The Sierra Nevada some too. Day 3 still shows more in the Rockies. Day 4 still shows some probabilities. Day 5 shows even heavier. Day 6 even shows the plains. Day 7 a finger or two in the northeast, but very little. But now the overview does show those periods of heavier snow for today, Wednesday. Finally has Wednesday, and some more like storms in the south in those areas. Day 2 the severe weather and flash flood in the south, and the mixed precipitation snow in the north. But day 3 still shows some heavier snow in some spots there, mixed precipitation. But now they have a bigger area of freezing rain possible throughout Maryland and or West Virginia, but especially like in Pennsylvania and New York. So be aware. Now for the storms here. So the does show those storms now in Louisiana and Florida and Mississippi that goes, and it has the big system there in the northwest, the rain, Washington, Oregon, and California, and those areas. But tomorrow, Thursday, shows some storms brewing in northern Texas and more still southeastern Texas, but the front starts organizing there. Ahead of it shows some more storms. Let's see south, if it shows here better. The internet is too slow, but here south, so it does show there. Like, let's see if it loads because it's too slow. Let's wait until this turns black there. Good. So this is Thursday, shows the storms brewing in northern Texas, but those a little bit stronger storms near southeastern Texas. This goes there, but the line will get stronger across central Texas with some heavier storms there, shows it. And then around Dallas, Fort Worth, does shows some more storms too, around early to mid-afternoon, and shows those more discrete storms ahead of it. But the main tornado threat by the Storm Prediction Center is with this line there, developing Texas, but especially later in the evening, because of all those storms along that line can be embedded tornadoes in the 5%, and ahead of it shows some more discrete storms too, and some heavy rain in Oklahoma. So this around the evening, alright, this goes there, and later throughout the night shows more in Louisiana, southeastern Texas, and the line just keeps going. Some heavy rain in Arkansas, and this moves along there. By like Friday morning or something, still shows some heavy storms in Louisiana. So be careful those areas. And now, like, let's see if he has something here. Cape. So the her, because this is taking too long here. So it shows there like Thursday afternoon something. It still did not load here. It's almost there. A little bit further here. So shows there most cape in the ocean, like southeastern Texas, but the storms will be like further north, but they'll show more cape around Houston and some areas there. So there will be some energy for these storms, but most of the energy will be confined further south. So be careful those storms. Have some ways to receive warnings and alerts, and check the links in the description to see like the updates, the severe weather alerts there, and stay safe. So here for like where's snow here for some quick things for Canada. So still shows snow today, Wednesday to Thursday across British Columbia and those areas. So until like early on Friday shows that heavier snow there. Southern British Columbia in the mountains, some 63 centimeters. Shows more, there's still some 34, 39, 19 centimeters. So be aware in those areas. Most of central southern British Columbia, more snow, a tiny bit in Alberta and Saskatchewan, and northern Quebec. The next 1 day and 13 hours shows snow there too, and Nunavut in those areas. So be aware. Central northern Alaska, southeastern Alaska, and southern Alaska shows some as well. Now until the 30th, next 5 days, already shows some in Ontario. More like Nunavut, especially next 5 days in Nunavut, show like central southern Quebec and New Brunswick, but mostly northern Quebec, and already increases a lot there along the west coast, especially as western British Columbia and also in the northwest in the U.S. as well. The Rockies, and does have this snow lingering into the northern plains as well next 5 days. And the GFS, let's see, a similar thing. It does have some snow lingering to the plains and heavier along the north there next 5 days, and also has this snow like from Nunavut down to Manitoba and Ontario on the next 5 days there, and some in Quebec as well. So be aware. Now for like, it's still very cold, like I mentioned the video yesterday. So we might make one more detail, like those temperature maps in the US later this week or next week. But just for a small recap, let's see here in Canada first. Still very cold, especially northern Quebec and like northwestern Canada. Shows more there. And even in the south there, so like Friday morning or something during the night, minus 16, some minus 10, some minus 12. This goes there later into Friday in Nunavut. Some minus 20 is there in the northern northwestern territories in Yukon. So beware. That cold air starts coming into Alaska there, very frigid, right from Siberia. So the 29th, it goes there the 30th, shows more like northwestern territories in Yukon. This is some cold air, like minus 34 degrees Celsius in Yukon around the 30th, Tuesday. But the real cold air is like in the Arctic there, and so in those Arctic areas, very cold, northern Nunavut, the first and the second, all the way to like Saskatchewan and Manitoba on January 3rd shows there. But they still might change. It will change. And the European has a similar thing as well. So that was the GFS. So Friday there still shows across the west, very cold British Columbia, some areas there, kind of a break in Ontario, but still cold. And the 28th, the 29th shows it getting colder in northwestern territories there and Yukon. So the 30th too. So yeah, you got the idea. Be careful there. Now in Fahrenheit, so first in Alaska because of the Arctic air, so still like minus 34 in the north, cold for central Alaska too. Into Thursday, this goes there. The 28th shows most of central western Alaska, very frigid, but as you go into the 29th, it shows like other southeastern Alaska, and Anchorage is still like some 16 Fahrenheit, but the north there has like some real Arctic vibes, minus 46 Fahrenheit. That's very cold, so please stay safe. Some wind chills there, might be close like minus 60 or something, so be careful. And then this goes still very frigid on the 30th. I don't know why the internet doesn't work, but show like some minus 41, minus 21. So yeah, be careful those areas. And in the south there shows like some 2 Fahrenheit still in New York, some minus 4 even in New Hampshire. Still cold like tonight into tomorrow. Into Thursday shows still like in the morning cold there, some minus 3 Fahrenheit. And like some 30s all the way down to South Carolina shows so like it's 5 Fahrenheit to like 21. So beware. In the south some 60 still, but Thursday there in the afternoon in southernmost Texas to like some 83, and Florida some 70s, and even like low 80s, and in the Rockies still cold there, so be aware. Friday the 27th still cold in the Rockies and the Northeast, some 20s, 30s, and still shows some things in the mountains. But now the internet just vanished, completely vanished. The lights went out, so I'm so sorry, but stay safe, the severe weather and everything, and we'll make more videos soon.